Alright guys, I'm back right like 2 minutes after ending the other video, and I'm going to go ahead and just talk about my skincare and my journey with regard to my skincare. And I'll probably have more than one video like this. This is just the general gist and story about how I was able to clear my skin. Just a little backstory. I always had really clear skin, and there was this sudden onset of acne that I just didn't really understand. And as I said, it was especially off-putting for me because I wasn't accustomed to having blemish-prone skin or anything like that. But as I said in my previous video, your skin is a product of past habits. So if you've been engaging in not necessarily the healthiest habits over the years, it must catch up with you. And I just wanted to instill the importance of practicing healthy habits if you would like to have healthy skin, healthy hair, healthy nails, be a healthy being, just have overall health. And every single expression of health is really important to pay attention to certain things in your life. And I think that's what this really taught me overall as I look back on it. So as I was saying, I think a lot of people would actually relate to this because I've seen a lot of circumstances where other people have like this sudden onset of acne and just having blemish prone skin, and just having it be such a confusing circumstance for them because it's not something that they're accustomed to having to deal with. Figuring out what is it, what do I need to fix, what can I change, what can I do to make this go away. A focus of trying to get rid of it because I don't want it anymore. And that is the purpose of this video, to really show you guys kind of the other side of things, the other side of having gone through that and not having to go through that anymore, and kind of figuring out what was going on. This is just going to be a general series of events, and the more detailed video would come after this. I bought all of the products, a lot of products with salicylic acid trying to get rid of the acne, a lot of face washes, face masks, and honestly it was just a lot of wasted money because a lot of those things are still there. I barely ever use them. I'm going to try to use some stuff now because you don't want to be wasting your money, obviously, but certain things just, I don't know if it was just being kind of frantic and wanting things to work now for now, that I just stopped using a lot of those things and just kept buying more products. And I think a lot of us are guilty of that. But as I also said in my last video, it is not necessary because I am living proof of that. When it came down to it, I ended up clearing up my skin using about 3 products, and having all of those things in your routine is honestly was not feasible for me, and it's not feasible for a lot of people because it's a lot to do continuously every day to try to fix something, and we kind of just get kind of fed up, for lack of a better word, and it's just not necessarily the most practical thing to do. And if you could use less products and just have it be a simple routine, I would say that would be the better option, and that is definitely possible. Alright, so I had this problem with my acne. I'll insert some pictures here. If I could find some pictures when it was really bad, I'll insert those here. But the ones I found so far actually weren't from the worst period of when my skin started to really act up. So it might be the best example, but just the pictures I'm showing you I think are already bad. So just make them up like about 3 times worse, and that's how it was when it was at its worst. Right? So I was having these problems. I tried all of these products, got fed up of them. Some just, I would say, didn't work, etc, etc. Then I reached the point where I wanted to go to a dermatologist because it was kind of my last resort, because I'm not really a medication person. Like I'm very careful about what I put into my body in terms of modern medicine, and just I only take medication when it is absolutely necessary, which is not often. So that was really like a last resort from desperation of just wanting to have my skin be cleared up, and I think a lot of you would relate to that. So I went to the dermatologist, and he prescribed me something called Dietary C, and I used 1 tube of that, and by the second tube I think I still have it. So I used 1 tube of it, and then I never finished the second tube. And he also put me on antibiotics, and I can't remember the name of the antibiotics, but if I have the packaging, the prescription I will include that in the description box as well. But I was doing that for probably a little over a month. I doubt I made it to the 2-month mark, and it wasn't that it wasn't working, because what they say about products like that is that it brings everything to the surface, so your skin is going to get worse before it's going to get better. I guess it was helping to an extent, not really like a dramatic effect or anything, but it was, I would say, bringing stuff to the surface for the most part. And then I would try to pick at it to kind of get the matter out of my face, so that there wouldn't be anything in my skin anymore, and I would just have the hyperpigmentation issue to deal with. Like, I just wanted all of the bumps on my face to go away, because it was really raised skin all over, like bump straight across my forehead, and I just didn't like that at all. And I just wanted it to finally go away so that it could begin to heal and I could just deal with the hyperpigmentation issues. And side note, I also tried to go for a facial so that they would extract everything out of my face, so then I could just start fresh, which is what I was thinking in my head. But as I said, your skin is really just a product of your previous habits, so even if you squeeze everything out of your face, it more than likely will come back if you don't change those habits. So that's just one thing you should know, regardless of being on medication. And the thing that I think kind of broke the camel's back for me was that he put me on those antibiotics, and I already didn't feel 100% about the decision to be on medication. I was doing it and I was okay, I'm happy, I got something to help me clear up my skin, because I really wanted to clear up my skin. But you know, when you have that little inkling inside of you that is still kind of poking at you like, nah, that was me. I feel like I never was 100% invested in being on that medication. It was just again, a decision out of just really wanting your skin to be clear, and I guess I understand that. The thing that really broke the camel's back in this case was the fact that the dermatologist kept re-prescribing the antibiotics, and I just don't feel like I should be on antibiotics for 2, 3, 4 months straight. I just didn't feel like that was something that was necessary or healthy for my body. So I just stopped. I don't remember when I stopped. I think one day I just stopped taking it, and I haven't taken any of the antibiotics since then. When it finished, I probably just never went back for a refill, and I stopped applying the gel as well, because apart from it, I guess, working, it made my skin really sensitive. There were a lot of stipulations with regards to being on that particular medication, like you weren't supposed to be in the sun a lot and things like that, and it just started to make my skin really sensitive. And with my degree, I have to be in the sun a lot because there's a lot of practical work, so it just wasn't really something that was cohesive with the lifestyle that I had to be living at that time. So I asked my dermatologist to prescribe me a sunscreen to kind of combat that issue, but my skin just became really sensitive, and it would burn at the touch. When I went outside, it would burn. So yeah, I think there were a lot of factors that kind of that validated the fact that maybe there's something else that you could do to help you clear up your skin. One thing though that I did continue on using that the dermatologist prescribed was the particular soap that I started to wash my face with. It was the Cetaphil antibacterial bar. It's a bar. It's not the one that you get with the pump. It just comes in the bar. I don't know if in America or anywhere else the one that is a bar of soap also comes in the bottle, but to my knowledge, the one in the bottle is just I'm not sure if it's the same thing, so I would just advise you to get the bar. I continue to use that bar because I felt like it was it wasn't scented or anything. It was okay for sensitive skin, things like that. So I continued on using that, and I think that was a factor that did help me also clear up my acne. So that's one thing. Use the Cetaphil antibacterial bar as well as organic African black soap if you would like to also combat hyperpigmentation. But I would say start just using the Cetaphil bar because you want to be able to deal with the acne before you deal with the hyperpigmentation, because it doesn't, I think it's kind of counterproductive if your acne is going to keep coming back anyway and producing more hyperpigmentation. So deal with one thing first. Don't try to attack everything at once and then feel disheartened or feel overwhelmed when it isn't really working. Just start with one thing first and progress on. So that is one thing, the bar, as well as I started to eat way better. I had already been on this health and fitness journey for some time, so I never really had a period where I was eating terribly, because my terrible isn't really that bad, to be honest. So I would say if you are having issues like this and you know that you don't have the healthiest eating habits, to start addressing things there. But I think the biggest step in terms of nutrition that helped me clear up this particular kind of acne that I had, that I'm not sure which it is, but you'll be able to gauge, I guess, from the photos that I insert if your acne looks similar to mine in any way. I know that there are many types of acne, and I'm not a dermatologist, not a doctor, so I wouldn't be able to tell you for sure, but you could try these things and let me know if they work for you. The other major thing that I know helped me for sure is the change in my diet in terms of significantly decreasing the amount of animal products that I consume in comparison to plant-based products. I was back and forth with the veganism for a while, and my skin has been its best when I'm consuming a plant-based diet, but I know that's not necessarily the easiest step for everyone to take. So I think the main thing is to significantly decrease the amount of animal products you consume in comparison to plant-based products. Like, play with that ratio and it will definitely help your skin. There are many reasons for my choice to want to transition to a vegan lifestyle, and I'll explain that probably in a separate video at some point in the future. But it has not necessarily ever been that I believe that we should not consume, like, the human body is not meant to ever have any animal products in it. It's more so that the things that we put in our animal products, and the fact that the industry has become more so about revenue than caring about the health of the people consuming these products, and they're injecting it with a lot of hormones and things like that, those things definitely affect your health, and your skin is one direct expression of your health. So you definitely want to play with that. I wouldn't be able to tell you if, like, it makes a difference when my battery is dying, if it makes a difference to consume organic meats and things like that, because I don't have access to those things here. Also, I don't trust when somebody, like, anybody could label something and say it's organic unless I'm raising my own chickens. I don't necessarily know, but I know in different parts of the world it is more readily available to get those kinds of things, right? So I would say the most important thing is to play with that ratio and decrease the amount of animal products you consume. My battery died, I apologize. But as I was saying, definitely, if you know you consume a lot of animal products and barely any plant-based products, that may be one of your issues. Especially dairy products. I would say if you could cut them out altogether. I don't think I was able to pinpoint the things that helped me get rid of my acne until making certain observations over time. So the things I'm telling you, I'm certain about because I've gone back and forth and seen that these are the things that actually does affect my skin. I was kind of going back and forth, and I had this point where I was only eating fish, which could be something that could help you as well. If you can't cut out animal products altogether, maybe just try doing seafood and cutting out I would say cut out the dairy altogether if you could, or limit it and cut down the amount of meat you eat in comparison to plant-based products. Because what I was getting at is I went back, I regressed in terms of the veganism, and I started back eating meat, and then I realized my little bumps that went away started to form back on my forehead, and I was like, okay, but I think I still didn't make the connection. Then I went back because I've had that back and forth with the plant-based lifestyle. It would be slow. I wouldn't let it get too bad. It would be slow, where when I started to eat the animal products again, you would see 1, 2, 3 just popping up, and you obviously don't want to get back to that point where it's at its worst, so you nip it in the bud at that time. And that is how I know that it is this change in favor of eating more plant-based products that has helped me and really helped me keep clear skin and clear up my skin altogether. So all in all, with regard to my second point, I would say I get that things aren't necessarily like as I said, a today for tomorrow thing, but if you could make that change and increase the amount of plant-based products that you eat, increase your vegetables, your fruits, all of those things, and cut down that dairy significantly, if not altogether, and just consume less meat in comparison to everything else, I think you'll be fine. And that is a step that you would be taking in favor of your greater good, because this skin thing is definitely a reflection of something that is going on inside of you, and it's always going to be that way. And the third step is the step that everyone tells you, but it is the most valid thing ever: water. Make sure you're drinking enough water. I too am guilty of not necessarily drinking enough water all of the time. You know, my card was full, but anyways, everyone tells you 8 glasses of water, but it really depends on your body weight. It depends on how active you are on a daily basis. It depends on where in the world you live. It depends on a lot of factors. That average they give you is honestly I don't want to say bullshit. Maybe that really is the average worldwide, but don't use that average to gauge how much water you need to consume. It is a personal thing. For example, if I am leading a very active lifestyle, I'm perspiring more, I'm working up a sweat a lot more, I'm going to have to consume more water than somebody who lives a very sedative lifestyle. If I am really tiny, I'm going to have to consume more than likely less water than someone who is bigger than me, has a greater muscle mass, and is in the gym every day. It is a personal thing. And especially if you live somewhere like I live, where we have a very tropical climate, it is very hot, you are going to have to consume more water than somebody else who lives in a very cold climate. So I would say figure out what works best for you. I would give you the range of 8 plus ounces to 8 ounces, 8 plus glasses to 16 glasses of water a day. So that's 8 glasses to about a gallon of water. Well, exactly a gallon of water. So that is the average, 8 glasses to the end spectrum of drinking a gallon of water a day. I wouldn't say it's necessarily necessary for everyone to drink a gallon of water today, but I think especially if you are working on something like clearing up your skin and making sure that you're cleansing your system and being hydrated enough, which is also good for your skin, things like that, I would say definitely more than 8 glasses of water a day. Okay guys? Okay, so as I said in the beginning of this video, this is just a quick overview of things that I did to help clear my skin. I think these 3 things, if you start doing these things, you're definitely going to be making a dent in terms of clearing up your skin and just having healthier skin overall. So just to recap, we want to be using something, I would say, as natural as possible to cleanse your skin. You don't need all of the extra stuff. I suggested the African black soap. The OK brand is what I use, but I think you could use any brand as long as it's the actual black soap. Like, I think I forgot to mention this. There's the black soap that looks like a commercial bar of soap that they just kind of dyed black or put some kind of ingredient in it to make the soap black. It doesn't look like that. I wish I had some black soap now. It is actually, I'll insert a picture of it here. It doesn't look like that. It actually looks like someone made this soap at home. It doesn't have like the that regular commercial shape of a kind of oval. It's usually like in a block, as if they just kind of cut a little cuboid of soap and you see the little chunks in it. It's not very hard, it's soft in texture. You could literally just break off a piece of the soap, rub it in your hands and wash your face with it. Not that commercialized black soap. That's why I'm being clear to say organic African black soap. I use the OK brand, and I think there is also the African Pride brand, as well as the Cetaphil antibacterial bar. Use that as well. And I would say start off with the Cetaphil. As a matter of fact, I'll actually make a video about the African black soap probably, because it takes a bit of getting used to. You would need a good moisturizer because it tends to dry out skin. If you have really dry skin, you may be more attracted to using the Cetaphil bar alone. But again, more details. And number 2 was attacking your diet. If you have been eating poorly, really address those habits. It might not be very easy for you to just jump from leading a very unhealthy lifestyle filled with lots and lots of processed foods to just, oh, let me be vegan. You might just want to start with the developing healthy habits and then paying more attention to going into decreasing your animal products. So I think just starting that process is a commendable thing for you to do for yourself. So you don't have to make that big jump. I think the best start for you, if you know that you fall into this category, is to just start making that transition to a healthier lifestyle first. And by default, as you start to lead a healthier lifestyle, you will be eating more fresh foods and things like that that would help you get on the path. Also, on my website, I have a 30-day challenge that would be perfect for somebody who is trying to start that transition to a healthier lifestyle but isn't sure where to start. It's very simple. It's great for beginners and for people who are just restarting or trying to restart a fitness journey that they started before and probably fell off a bit. I got you guys. I got you. And the third thing was to drink enough water. Just ensure that you are always hydrated. It is great for your skin, great for your body. Water has cleansing properties. Great. Alright, so I hope this video helped you guys, and like it if it did help you in any way. Leave any questions that you have in the comment section and I'll be sure to answer, as well as if there are things that I forgot that I know are significant in the questions that you asked, I'll make sure to include that in the more detailed video. And yeah, make sure to subscribe. I make videos like this. I make videos about health, fitness, wellness, all of those things, just everything that constitutes being a well-rounded, happy, healthy human being. Alright, so I hope you enjoy the rest of your day/night wherever you are, and I'm sending you lots of love always. Alright, lots of love. Bye.